3 years ago, the scene of Hu Jintao being escorted out of the hall shocked the world. 3 years later, an AI video recreates that instant of power. This time, the one escorted away is Xi Jinping. As the fourth plenum reaches its climax, military purges, pressure from party elders, and economic collapse intertwine into a storm. Will history truly repeat itself? Don't miss the next drop. Subscribe and hit the bell. Beijing, something big has happened. An AI-generated video has blown up Zhongnanhai. In the footage, Xi Jinping sits at the center of the rostrum in the Great Hall, with the familiar red folder in front of him. Suddenly, two masked staffers approach. One snatches the folder, one lifts his arm. Ding Xuexiang looks on coldly. Zhang Youxia doesn't move at all. A few seconds later, Xi is forced off the rostrum. The AI video is only 28 seconds long, yet it surpassed 1 million views in just a few days and set the entire internet ablaze. Netizen titles were even sharper. History repeats. Xi escorted out of the fourth plenum, 3-year remake, the Xi era ends? 3 years ago, Hu Jintao was escorted out. 3 years later, AI returns, the scene to Xi Jinping. Coincidence? Or public opinion? Right as the CCP's fourth plenum convenes, this AI video has become the most sensitive political symbol. Because this meeting is at the eye of the storm, rolling purges in the military, pressure from party elders behind the scenes, a sagging economy, and health rumors everywhere. The outside world is asking, has Xi Jinping reached the Hu Jintao moment? Next, we'll take you back to that scene 3 years ago. 80-year-old Hu Jintao witnessed being escorted off the pinnacle of power, and then look clearly at today, 3 years on, how Xi Jinping, on the eve of the fourth plenum, got caught in the same vortex of history. 3-year mark of Hu Jintao, escorted out, the bloody opening of a power game. October 22, 2025, exactly 3 years earlier. At the Great Hall in Beijing, the CCP's 20th Party Congress closing session was being broadcast live. The camera swept across the center of the rostrum. 80-year-old Hu Jintao sat to Xi Jinping's left, expression stern. Midway through the meeting, a staffer in a dark suit stepped forward to help him up. Hu waved slightly, seeming to resist, and reached for the red folder before him, but Li Jianshu at his side quickly pressed it down. Seconds later, another staffer came up, one on the left and one on the right lifted Hu by the arms. The hall fell silent. Xi Jinping stared straight ahead. Li Keqiang lowered his head slightly. As he left, Hu glanced back, patted Li Keqiang's shoulder, murmured a few words, and was then helped out. The whole process took less than a minute, but AFP photographer Noel Silas captured it from the press seats, and it spread worldwide. The scene shocked the globe. Later, via Xinhua, the CCP officially explained that Hu Jintao was unwell and was accompanied to rest, but Reuters and the New York Times both noted that from the footage, Hu clearly tried to resist leaving and the top leaders around him looked unusually tense. The BBC called it a chilling instant of transparency in Chinese politics. That escorted out moment symbolized a drawn line of power. Hu Jintao's Huanpai Communist Youth League faction was completely purged. For example, Hu Chunhua failed to make the Politburo that term, and Xi Jinping's one-man era was formally established. During Hu Jintao's decade, factional balance was emphasized. The Tuanpai, the Shanghai clique, and the princelings coexisted. Major decisions were often made by standing committee consultation to prevent one-man dominance. Hu himself was cautious, low-key, and stressed collective leadership and keeping a low profile. In the end, this system was replaced by Xi Jinping's assertiveness. That escort was seen as a symbol, the end of collective leadership and the start of a personality cult. Now, the 20th Central Committee's fourth plenum is reaching a climax. On the surface, the agenda focuses on the 15th five-year plan and economic adjustments, but in overseas media and on social platforms, the spotlight has shifted. People are focused on Xi Jinping's stay-or-go crisis. Rumors about health, combined with military purges and economic woes, prompt the question, will the scene from 3 years ago replay? Will there be a day when Xi Jinping is also escorted off the rostrum? The netizen AI video, a popular test of Xi being escorted away. Adding to the coincidence, on X, formerly Twitter, netizens recently uploaded an AI-generated short clip titled, Xi Jinping escorted out at the fourth plenum. The video is set in the Great Hall in Beijing. The AI model reproduces rostrum details, the red carpet, the party emblem backdrop, front row nameplates, and the red folder all match. Xi Jinping sits in the center, seemingly about to speak, when two masked staffers suddenly step forward. One lifts his arm, one snatches the folder. The camera then cuts to Ding Xuexiang and Zhang Youxia beside him. The former lowers his head and moves papers aside, the latter watches expressionless. The clip uses tense background music and hushed murmurs, ending on the shot of she being forced off the rostrum. The captions on these videos are almost identical. History repeats, she escorted out at the fourth plenum, 3-year remake, the Xi era ends. In under 3 days, related posts surpassed 1 million views and over 10,000 shares, data source, public stats pages on X, igniting debate at home and abroad. The comments split sharply. One group wrote, "May the AI prophecy come true, Zhang Youxia moves, she is finished." On the 3rd anniversary of Hu Jintao's exit, it's Xi's turn. Another camp cautioned, the video is fictional, but it reflects real anxieties, AI is just a mirror of public sentiment. Overseas media observed that these AI videos aren't isolated, they're the accumulation of 3 years of social mood. From the 2022 white paper movement to the 2024 to 2025 stock market crash, the local debt crisis, and the wave of mortgage defaults, netizens using AI to replay the Hu Jintao incident has become a collective satire and psychological projection aimed at the current regime. As foreign commentary put it, this isn't a prank but a projection. What AI simulates is people's imagined cycle of power. So far, there's been no response from Beijing. But on the mainland internet, discussion has been comprehensively blocked. Keywords like "she escorted away" and "AI prophecy" are flagged as sensitive. On domestic platforms like Weibo and Baidu, searches return temporarily not displayed. A Chinese scholar living in Europe told Deutsche Welle, the viral AI clips are not a tech phenomenon but a political signal. They reveal the public's fear of concentrated power and a latent desire for change. For international observers, these virtual scenes lack factual basis but offer a window into China's political psychology. They expose the collective anxiety under the pressure of economic decline, eroding social trust, and an island power structure. AI merely concretizes that anxiety into a projected cycle of history. Xi Jinping's fourth plenum, pinnacle and doubts. Over 3 years, Xi's consolidation of power far surpassed Hu Jintao's. Party-state military, trinity, ideology written into the constitution, hundreds of senior officials felled in anti-corruption drives, and leadership over Belt and Road, military reforms, and wolf warrior diplomacy. Compared with Hu's balance among factions, Xi has pursued one-man leadership, dismantling others' power networks and controlling leading small groups over national security, economic reform, and other core bodies. Yet on the eve of the fourth plenum, abnormal signals appeared. The meeting originally slated for 2024 was postponed to October 2025, stirring speculation that Xi had lost ground. On October 17, CMC Vice Chair He Weidong, a Xi confidant, was investigated, an earthquake right before the session. Earlier, Defense Minister Li Shangfu, Miao Hua, and other senior military figures had fallen. Of the 7 CMC seats, 3 were vacant. Anti-corruption moved from consolidating power to purging confidants. Economic difficulties intensified, the real estate crash, a year-on-year 11.9% drop in land sale revenue, and weak consumption. Overseas reports claimed party elders, such as Hu Jintao, Wen Jiabao, Hu Depaying, were holding the reins. Behind the scenes, Organization Department head Shi Taifeng, promoted by Hu, was reassigned. The Tuanpai might be staging a comeback. Health rumors also spread. Xi's third term is more than halfway through, ending in 2027, and rumors say he is running out of steam. Although the plenum communique has not yet been issued, Politburo meetings are already discussing the 15th five-year plan, stressing high-quality development, yet cannot hide the personnel storms. Zhang Youxia, the nemesis, and the purge of military authority. On October 17, the PRC Ministry of Defense announced that 9 generals were expelled from the party and military. Almost all were Xi's confidants promoted from the 31st Group Army, the Xi camp. These generals were Xi's right-hand men, who had helped drive military reforms and wolf warrior diplomacy. Posts on X claimed, Zhang Youxia has wiped out Xi's faction. This isn't a game, it's to force Xi to step down. Zhang Youxia led the purge, bypassing the Politburo and issuing orders in the name of the Party Central Committee and the Central Military Commission, a sign of the unraveling of Xi's control over the military. Analysts argue that Zhang once helped Xi ascend but, with achievements overshadowing the ruler, Xi grew suspicious of his ambition and tried to marginalize him. Thus Zhang endured and struck back, using elders' support to remove Xi's confidants. Elders forcing the palace and the cycle of history. Overseas media reported that elders such as Hu Jintao and Wen Jiabao may have jointly decided that Xi must step down by 2027, and that a change of heaven at the fourth plenum is imminent. Videos and posts on X play up the Tuanpai's resurgence and Xi's isolation. BBC experts, however, believe she is still displaying power through personnel moves and that succession talk is premature. Overseas analysis shows elders and the military are contesting behind the scenes, and the AI videos may be tools of the public opinion war, intensifying the uncertainty around power. The cyclical game of politics: who is the next Hu Jintao? The CCP's 20th Fourth Plenum is not only an economic blueprint but a battleground for power realignment. 3 years ago, Hu Jintao's escort out cemented Xi's iron-fisted rule. 3 years later, she faces unprecedented challenges: purges of military authority, economic troubles, international pressure, and the elders maneuvering. Zhang Youxia's nemesis role is pronounced. Xi's chosen generals are being removed, and tremors in power surge beneath the surface. The AI videos, though fictional, have ignited the popular imagination. History never repeats exactly, but the cycle of power at the CCP's top has never ceased. Today's strongman may become the escorted shadow of tomorrow. As one ex-post quipped, whether she is escorted in or out, uncertainty is the only constant. The fourth plenum is destined to become one of the most intriguing suspense points in the CCP's political history. From the historical echo of Hu Jintao's 3-year mark, to the power struggle of the CCP's fourth plenum, to the public anxieties refracted through AI videos, the party's political history is full of cycles and symbols. Today's strongman may become tomorrow's shadow of history. Today's news may be the prelude to a political storm 3 years hence. Who can grasp the situation, and who will be escorted away by history, remains unknown.